There are roosters in the parking lot.
At my church.
At your church. Hey guys, welcome to Appalachia's Homestead. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. We have a special video for you today with Miss Angela of Daisy King Farm, Daisy King Things, naturally made by Angela. Well, you're like a whole enterprise now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Trying.
So we got together for a quick lunch today and exchanging presents, and she gave me something awesome from a follower. We'll show that, but the thing is we're coming up on the 3 years anniversary of something incredible, and we're going to talk about it, and we're going to let Miss Angela talk to you all about it. Okay, so this video is totally non-scripted. We knew we were going to do this. This is a good moment for everybody because we get to have Angela share something very important. Am I squeezing you too hard?
No, feels good.
Feels massage. And talk to you what's important to her. If you've been following her story for a while now, following me for a couple of years, you know about Miss Angela. Right here in this parking lot, basically, Miss Angela she met death almost several years ago. And so a lot of people don't have awareness about just how they're living moment to moment, because at any given moment that can end.
Changes forever.
So we're going to let Miss Angela tell her story, and we're just going to go along for the ride.
Okay, so it was just the last day of school was going to be out before Christmas break. It was December 22nd. I've been running around, delivering presents, trying to get all the last minute things done, that us mamas do. And I have a little soap business, naturally made by Angela, and my best customer, Miss Terry, who I also go to church with here, needed some soap. And so we decided to meet here in this church parking lot because it was a place in between her house and mine. So I put on my brand new Appalachia shirt that I got from the fundraiser that Patara was doing for the Great Smoky Mountains when the fire happened 3 years ago. Had just got it in the mail that day, put it on, ran over here with her soap order. And I'm going to give you a couple details. I think you'll see why in just a minute. But so I get here and she texts me saying she's going to be a few minutes late. And the reason I mention that is because had she not come 10 minutes late, what I'm about to tell you happened would have been even more tragic. So she pulls in to the parking lot, and I get out of my car and I come over to her window. She stays in her car, and so I'm just kind of standing here looking at her and talking to her. And we started talking about, I was making homemade bread. I've watched your videos and all that stuff. And she asked me about how I made it, and so I was sitting there I was standing here talking to her about how to make bread.
Where were you standing? Do you remember?
I was standing about right here.
You're right here.
Yeah, it's about right here. She was parked here.
So she's parked right here.
Our cars were real close together. There was enough room for me to be between us.
Okay.
And so I'm talking to her about the bread, and then I felt this really unusual pain about right here, and I thought to myself, should I say something? That was really bad. And then before I could really even act on that, I felt another one, but it was more here. And that was like, they describe it as lightning hitting you. The worst headache of your life is what all the ER people hear whenever someone comes in. And it really was that. It was something you've never felt before. It's just, something's happening. So that worst headache of my life happened, the second one, and I said something to her. I said, that is the worst headache I've ever had. And then I went out. This is what she says happened. I went out and I started slumping because I was going down. She was quick enough to grab her phone, her keys, and hold on to me through the window of her car to try to keep me from falling and hitting the concrete completely by myself. She slid out of her door, basically is like tried to open her door and slid out holding on to me at the same time, and we fell together. And I unfortunately did hit my head pretty hard enough to crack it. She laid there with me on the ground, phone in hand, and so we were laying here on the ground.
What happened? You had an aneurysm, or you had one and it ruptured? What happened?
Yes, so basically the worst headache of my life was an aneurysm on one of my arteries in my brain. It was about right here behind my temple, ruptured. I didn't know I had an aneurysm, but it ruptured, and so the pain that I felt was the blood coming into the part of covering my brain, the outside of my brain and the skull. There's a space between the two.
So your head, it's just your whole skull
blood is just filling up the brain and the space, and it's swelling and the pressure. And of course then I hit my head, but I was unconscious for that part. I remember waking up and hearing the diesel of the ambulance being here. I didn't feel any pain, and I was like at peace, and I knew stuff was going on, but it was,
that sounds like a surreal moment.
Yeah, it was like an out-of-body kind of thing. I wasn't worried.
Were you waiting on the ambulance at this point?
They were working with me.
They were working on you.
They cut all my clothes off, including my brand new shirt from Appalachia's Homestead.
Well, I think we can replace that. That's not a problem.
You did.
Yes.
And so they did all that, got me stable enough to get in and drive downtown.
So, is this the first time you've been back to this spot? I know you said
Yes.
you've been avoiding it.
Yeah, when we come to church, I direct Jason to park somewhere else. I don't even like driving through this section of the parking lot.
Well, you're doing good.
Yeah, this is
good. This is good. This is good.
It's kind of like revisiting where a tragic accident happened. It's a little PTSD, but I need to do it because a miracle happened here.
Right.
And that's kind of what I want everybody to know, is that miracles still happen. They do happen, and that God is faithful, and He was definitely watching over me that day, because every medical professional that I met during this told me I should not be here. I should have died on the way to the hospital. And for those who do live through a brain aneurysm rupture, usually you have very bad deficits, stroke-like deficits, vegetable state, that kind of thing.
Well, you've defied all of that, though. So you've had 3 surgeries, correct? 3?
Yes.
Now, you just went 2 weeks ago.
Did.
And it was a very good checkup.
Passed.
So what they did is the procedure that they did is they went in and they had to go through the groin. They could not do anything up here. They had to go through the groin and coil.
Yeah, it was too deep. They couldn't cut my head open to get into it. So thank God they can go through the artery, which goes all the way through your heart, up through here and into your brain. And they insert all these tiny little wires, and it just, this is your aneurysm, and it fills it up and clots it off from blood flow getting into it. Unfortunately, though, mine compacted and blood was able to get in, and in May of the following year I had to have emergency surgery again. And at that time they added more coils and then put 2 stents in the artery to hold the coils in, because of the wide neck on the aneurysm. They didn't want it to fall back through. So, and then I had a 3rd one in August of 2017. I never thought in my wildest dreams, the night I left my house to deliver soap, that I wouldn't be coming back home for 2 weeks and I'd miss Christmas with my kids. And that they almost lost their mother, and my husband almost lost his wife. My mom almost lost her daughter, and my whole family spent Christmas at the ICU lounge for 2 weeks. And so, you never think that's going to happen to you. And thank God He gave me a miracle and saved me that day, so that I can raise my kiddos and be a wife and a friend and a sister and all that.
I stopped her before she got too worked up. We're not going to get a mascara running.
No.
Because your mascara looks good today.
Oh, thank you.
All right, so we're going to walk up here and look at these roosters.
Okay.
We're going to look at how awesome is it that we come to film this video in this spot and the neighbors' roosters are out. So now here is the giving point here. So this Sunday, which is actually we're a few days in advance, but on the 22nd, what do you do every year? This is another example.
Yes.
She doesn't have to give back, but she's taking what happens to her or has happened to her, and you're giving back with it. What do you do?
We just do a little basket full of snacks and goodies and things that people can use that are going into the neuro ICU unit. The family members are staying there pretty much 24/7, and it gets expensive to get food and snacks and all the things you need. My mom and dad stayed there night and day, so they know exactly what you need. So my mom and I get together and we go and buy a bunch of peanut butter crackers, Cokes, pizzas,
Comfort food.
Even toothbrushes and things like that they might need.
Angela, which one do you want?
I don't know, I can't decide.
Look at him. I don't want to spook him. Look.
They're so handsome.
Now look. The rooster. The awakening. The victor.
That's right.
Right here today.
I just think it's really neat how this t-shirt is how we became such good friends. And that I almost died in your shirt. That's what brought us together.
I said I wasn't going to cry, so, I'm not going to cry. But yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I love you, Angela.
I love you too.
Love you, love you.
See, God does some really cool things, and even in a tragedy, how much this tragedy has blessed my family. Never take a day for granted. And I know we get mad at people or things or whatever, and we want to stay mad and all that stuff, but we never know when it might be that last time you see that person. I could have walked out the door forever that night. And so we always need to kind of keep that in our mind and just live life to the fullest. Don't sweat the small stuff. I know that's cliche, but it really is true.
Guys, follow Miss Angela on her YouTube channel. I'm going to put all the links to even her Etsy. Go check out her soap page. I'm telling you right now, it doesn't just bless her family, but that's what she was doing this day, is selling her soaps, doing what she loves, and the quality and everything that goes behind it, even more so now, is even more so important. So check her out.
Thank you.
We wish you Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
All right, well, I love you.
I love you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, and we will see you on the next video. What am I doing? Is Cracker Barrel still out getting between my
Man, let's go.
Cracker Barrel makes some good divinity.
Oh, it's amazing. Especially in the
gosh.
church parking lot.
Well, we brought it.
Divinity,
Hey, you're gonna last forever.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesus, for divinity.
Thank you, baby Jesus.
They all seem to change while I'm still the same. 'Cause I just can't let go. And there's no one to blame. It's just the way